Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
The first digital camera I ever purchased, and I believe I've mentioned this before in other videos, was a Sony Mavica FD7I. If I got that model correct. It recorded images onto a floppy disk. The reason why I ended up with that camera is because I didn't think the serial connections between cameras and computers were all that stable or useful, and was really a clunky experience by and large. And taking photos onto a floppy disk, well, everybody has a floppy drive, and so I thought, well, I'd rather sacrifice the quality of the photos for compatibility reasons. That was the reason I ended up getting a Mavica for my first digital camera. Now, a question came in just today from Andrew's girl asking, what is the best digital camera to get? And that is so subjective. Now, I just outlined the reasons why I decided to get the Mavica, and in fact, I ended up buying 3 other Mavicas after that, and by the time the third one had run its course, I believe an FD95, which also recorded on floppy, USB was becoming the standard, and I ended up upgrading to a Sony DSC S70. Now, this time, the biggest media format capacity that you could get was 128 megabytes, and that was expensive at that. And I didn't mind because I didn't have any other removable media products, or products that had, supported either compact flash or memory stick, or what's the big one? It's flat smart media, which I always thought was really stupid. And you don't really see many smart media products around anymore. The whole idea behind which is the best digital camera to get, it all boils down to you. What do you want out of a camera? Most people say, I just want to take pictures. Well, what kind of pictures do you want to take? Do you want to take pictures largely in dark locations where you don't have a lot of natural light? Well, then you probably want a camera that shoots better in low light situations. Do you want to take video as well as still images? Well, then you might consider a better hybrid type of camera. And most digital cameras these days have the ability to shoot both video and audio and photos as well. I would recommend a hybrid camera if I was to recommend a digital camera type outright, because you may be out and about and you're thinking, man, I wish I would have brought my video camera. Well, if you've got a digital camera that supports both video and photos, well, then you've got both in the palm of your hand. Now, I've just recently upgraded to the Canon TX1. I've been a Canon user for many years. In fact, I've got the Canon SD. Hang on, SD. Hang on, I can't remember the name of it. Oh, S2IS. Sorry. And the SD700 IS, and I've had those for a while, and then upgraded to the TX1 recently. You know what? I enjoy certain things about the TX1, but it's awfully grainy in low light situations. The noise is really, really bad and really noticeable. The flash is too close to the lens, so red eye is a major issue. But the video is pretty outstanding. I'll give it that. It shoots high definition video, and it does at 30 frames a second, so it's really closer to high definition video, and it fits into my pocket, and that's the big reason why I wanted a camera like this. It fits in my pocket, and I've got the swivel lens, and so as I had mentioned before in an earlier review, that fits my lifestyle. You may be completely different. There is no one right or perfect digital camera or manufacturer. Since I have a lot of products around here that take SD, and some take different media formats altogether, beyond SD, I've got, I think, one product that still takes compact flash that records audio, my M Audio device, like an audio recorder. Then this camera takes SD. My PSP takes the memory stick. Oh, God. So, there are a lot of choices that you really have to wade through before you ultimately decide on a camera. Before you do purchase a camera, my recommendation is go over to your favorite photo website, and I'm just going to name Flickr because I know it works there, and do a search based on camera type, and look at the kind of images that people are producing with that camera that you've got your eye on. And if you like the images, hey, that's good. If you don't, then it's like, well, are they bad photographers or is it just a bad camera? Well, I'm of the opinion that it's not necessarily the lens itself that makes a good photo. It's the eye behind the lens that makes a good photo. Good photographers, of course, want great equipment, but ultimately it boils down to what your mind's eye sees, and then what it's able to output using the camera as the natural, or I guess unnatural, extension of your mind's eye. Not to wax poetic or philosophical with that, but it is very much true. If you can't take a good photo with an expensive camera, buying a more expensive camera isn't necessarily going to help you take a better photo. And as long as you understand that, spend as much as you can or what's within your budget. Never cheap out when it comes to hardware. I've always said that. Sony produces good cameras. Canon produces good cameras, Nikons as well. Out of all of them, I appreciate different bits and pieces. I don't think I'll ever buy another Nikon camera again. I had way too many issues with the software interface. I had grown accustomed to Canon's very easy to use interface, and just as easy to use, beyond Canon, as well as the power, is the Sony digital cameras. And I don't know, at some point in the future, maybe I'll go back to using Sony digital cameras, but for now, I'm fine with Canon. Everybody's got a different opinion. Try holding on to a camera if you can. Don't just buy it sight unseen. Just say, oh yeah, it's got great specs, because you may look at it and say, wow, it does 84 megabytes of videos and photos, and you're not really understanding what does that mean. 84 megabytes. That doesn't even make any sense. Well, I was misreading it. I'm sorry. Is 8.4 megapixels. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means that the camera can take a photo. In theory, without using any kind of digital zoom or software zoom, at 8.3 megapixels. So that many pixels. 8,300,000 pixels in a photo, which is a really large photo. That's overkill for a lot of people. If you're just planning on putting the photos on the web, a 3 megapixel camera is fine. If you're planning on printing photos, 5 or 6, anything beyond that, and it's likely a bit of overkill. I'm sure if you're a professional photographer, then you're not even questioning on, well, which camera do I go with, because you're kind of into it. But if you're not and you just want a camera to knock around, I'd say minimum spend $300, and then of course if you can go higher than that. Maximum, I don't think there's a point of maximum, but I think most consumers / prosumers are going to be fine within the range of $300 to about $500, maybe $600, and anything below that or above that may be either not a good camera or too much of a camera for you to be able to handle. If you guys have a different opinion, different idea, websites that you recommend for doing research on digital photos and cameras that take those photos, and good guides for helping people decide which digital camera they should get, by all means, leave a comment, follow up, remark, whatever. I'm sure people have got so many questions and so many answers for anything related to digital photography. It's just such a hot topic. Leave a question or comment or either one in the thread, or swing by the chat room and ask more questions, or leave your particular suggestions. We're always there at live.pirillo.com.